Let's rant about something that makes me rage quite a lot. Has made me rant quite a lot. Something that keeps being brought up in my space, um, either by my own brain or triggered by someone else. But this idea of the space that women occupy in the battle for equality of opportunity across gender, in this mindset of um, men need to fix it. Men need to fix patriarchy. Men need to be more in touch with their feminine energy. Men need to solve all the problems, make it equal. Just fix it. Just fix it. Men, okay, just fix it. See, the thing is, masculine energy inherently wants to fix. They love fixing. You give them a problem, they want to fix it. Most people in their masculine energy get a real kick out of fixing. And lots of women enjoy that about the masculine energy. But feminine energy without masculine energy is very unbalanced. It is indirect. It is unable to take action. It is unable to connect to its authority. But yet here women stand, people in their feminine energy, generally unbalanced feminine energy, asking men to fix things. Asking men to be more in touch with their feminine energy. But doing this from that high school girl fighting with her boyfriend mentality of, if he doesn't know, I'm not going to tell him. Not being direct, not telling them what they actually need. I shared a post the other day where a girl had written, "Has anyone noticed that men aren't persuasive anymore? They ask you out, you say no, and they stop trying." The levels of problematic are extreme with that one, not gonna lie. And I could rant about that post, just that post alone. I won't. I'm going to use it right now as part of this rant. So that's one side of the camp of women, okay? This idea that men need to be pushy, men need to be in their masculine energy, men need to chase. Okay, he's not persuasive. I said no and he left me alone, right? Then there's the other camp of women, and we're standing over here saying no means no. And that shouldn't be just all women, okay? That should be across the board. No means no. And the reason that no doesn't always mean no is because of posts from that girl. And so if you want to talk about divine energy presenting toxically, that is a prime example of divine feminine energy presenting toxically. Okay, that is emotional manipulation. When you say no, when really you mean yes, because your expectation is that someone should read between the lines of what you are trying to say, you are trying to manipulate a situation, you are being dishonest. Then to complain about it when someone takes you at your word makes you a toxic, problematic individual. And the place that comes from is your own insecurities and your own place of toxicity inside of your body, where you do not have the ability to tap into your masculine energy of being direct, of asking for what you need and taking action. And that shit is poison. So, women sitting and talking about how men need to be more in their feminine energy, yet we still have examples of this toxic displays of feminine energy out there. Why are we asking them to move towards that energy? What we're asking them to do is be toxic more internally, because that tends to be the way that feminine energy presents toxically, more internally. You think about masculine energy presenting toxically, it's action based, right? They're fighting, they're yelling, they're abusing, they're being dangerous. We can see it with our eyes. Feminine energy is not like that. It is internal toxicity. It is emotional manipulation. It's judging other people. Because that's the other side, isn't it? And every single woman will attest to this. Every single person who has existed as a girl in school will attest to the absolute poison of bullying in that place, of how undermined and backhanded and gossipy it is. That unevolved feminine energy creates competition wherever it goes. It's that judgmental kind of competition. It's that type of competition where, for some reason, we build these ridiculous status ladders across everything. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay, teenage girls are the worst at this. Okay, they not only do they need to be better, but it seems that the purpose is so we can judge who's worthy of a particular type of man, which we also create competition around who is the best type of man. You know, are they good looking? Do they make a lot of money? What sort of car do they drive? All of these sorts of things forever and ever, for as long as you've been in your feminine energy, for as long as you've been a woman, for as long as you've been a girl, and you know I'm right, women create these competitions. And we create the start and the finish line so that we can judge each other on them. Now, these physical appearance ones, which women love. Women love. We love projecting our external appearance bullshit onto other women. For as long as I can remember. For as long as I can remember. It's, oh, look what she's wearing. I wouldn't wear that. It's our self-judgments about being too big, being too small, not having big enough boobs, not having small enough boobs, not having big enough butts. We love that shit. We love it. What she's wearing, how much money she paid for it, whether her shoes match or not. We love it. We project our own insecurities about our external appearance onto other women within these circles of competition that we've built from nowhere. From absolutely nowhere. About who's prettier, who's worthy. How many times have you heard a woman say, "Look at her. Why did he choose her over me?" We created that competition. Oh no, you might say. Patriarchy created that competition. Capitalist advertising created that competition. No. Patriarchy might have created standards. Capitalism might have created standards. They might have created, information and advertising flooding our brains, telling us what's good, what's not good, etc., etc. But we chose to accept it. And right now, in this place that we live in 2023, so many women are still choosing the competition ladder. Okay? There are women who are fully grown women who are still making these comments, who are still saying, "I'm prettier than her. Why did he choose her? He's punching above his weight. He's punching below his weight." All of these ridiculous subjective points that women have created competitions around, seemingly for the purpose of attracting men. Then, just to be more toxic, after we've created and chosen to agree with these competition ladders that we can hold up against other women so that we can battle them in these judgment mindsets of toxic presentations of feminine energy because we can't be direct enough with ourselves to admit what we are actually thinking, what we are actually saying is about ourselves. So we are doing all of these things to prove that we're top of the ladder and we can attract the best men. Then we blame men for it. Then women blame men for it. And the thing here is, men are the reason we've built these competition ladders. But they are not to blame. They are not to blame. We can throw the ladders down at any time we want. We can look inside of ourselves at any time we want and realize that every single thing we have ever spoken negatively about another woman and her appearance, or even positively about their appearance, let's be honest, some women do it that way. All of these things are just projections of our own judgments, of the way we judge ourselves, of the rules we've set for ourselves, okay? There are women who say things, and I know I've said this before, there are women who say things like, "Oh, she's so brave for wearing that, I'd never wear that." That is a judgment on how you see yourself. That is a judgment on you not meeting up to your own standards and having your own, where you think are faults, where you think are wrong with you. You are projecting that. Then there are the women who are the ones who say things like, "Oh my God, she's so thin and beautiful. Oh my God, I wish I was her." Now these women sometimes are thin and beautiful themselves. And they do this a lot of the time because they want to validate themselves in that space because, again, of their own self-judgment idea. And I know I've chosen physical appearance to stick to here, but you can make this about anything. You think about who are the most judgmental people towards single mums? Other women. You think of the people who are the most judgmental towards women who don't want to have children? Other women. You think of the women who are super judgmental towards a cis-het relationship where the woman takes the more dominant perspective? Other women. Because we are creating competitive ladders where they don't need to be in order to prove that we are better than other women, usually with the outcome of attracting men. And then we blame men. We say it's their fault. Now, okay, patriarchy, capitalism, they've given us ideals. We still have choice. You still have a choice. You have a choice to look in the mirror realistically at what's going on. Taking responsibility for this sort of stuff, blaming yourself where that is definitely required, is fucking hard. Looking in the mirror, David Goggins calls it the accountability mirror, looking in the mirror at the places inside of you that project this bullshit, the places inside of you that as a woman, as someone in their feminine energy, generally unbalanced from masculine energy, are creating competitions with other women in order to prove to yourself that you are more worthy of a man, usually a particular type of man that you've also created a competition about, who is the better man, is all about your own insecurities. It's all about your own bullshit, and you are projecting this negativity into the world, and you are putting blame where it doesn't need to be put. Blame is useless unless you are using it to look at yourself. And even in that case, it's still useless if all you do is sit in self-pity about how you can't fix any of it. So what are we asking men to fix? Huh? What should they be fixing here? What do we want them to do? Do we want them to align more with our feminine energy presenting toxically? Or do we want to be giving them an example of what that looks like balanced? Because women need to step up first here. Okay? We are the ones, often, in the feminine energy, and yet we don't understand it ourselves. We are the ones asking them to be more in touch with their feminine energy, more in touch with their intuition, more in touch with their emotions, and yet we don't understand it. The ones that are supposed to be in our feminine energy. We let it present toxically all the time, usually our whole entire lives. And I do not give a fuck what you think the reason behind that is, where you want to place the blame. If you're a grown woman, you can decide to be better. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were taught it by patriarchy. It doesn't matter if you were taught it by capitalism. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, there are things from the past that we need, of course. Okay, but what we need from the past is the knowledge of that it was in the past. We can't be using it as reasons to not grow. We can just make a different decision. There's this whole overall concept that human beings tend to have a really huge problem with, and I know it because I've been one of these people, and that is taking responsibility for the idea that you can change your whole entire experience. Your whole entire experience can be changed by your mindset. And don't come at me about things like, oh, if I'm poor, oh, if I'm this, oh, if I'm that. Yes, okay, we understand there are extenuating circumstances that do make it quite difficult to change your experience. I understand that. What I am talking about here is not that. What I am talking about here is the feminine energy's inability to access its masculine energy of initiation and taking action to step up in relation to this idea of men needing to fix it. Men needing to fix the inequality across opportunities between gender. That is what I'm talking about here. Women in their feminine energy who are either fearful of or can't connect to their masculine energy, who are saying that this needs to be fixed, that this needs to be balanced, you need to be giving an example. We need to be the example here. We are talking about people who we have forced into their masculine energy for years and years and years and decades in order to maintain life, in order to continue to have humans. Okay? We sent men to war. We sent men into the hardest jobs to get the resources that we needed to live comfortably. Okay, societies have chosen this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was patriarchy. It doesn't matter. The facts are, for centuries, we have forced these men into their masculine energies. So their experience at understanding their feminine energy is not very good. So up until about the last 30 years, where we decided that masculine energy was dangerous, up until then, we forced them into it. We wanted them to be hard and tough and have no emotions so we could send them to war to fucking kill people so that we could have resources so that we could live comfortably. And now, and so since then, since we decided that no masculine energy is dangerous, we have now got a generation of men, which I know I say this a lot, the ones right now, 25 to 32, who have come into this world being taught that their masculine energy is dangerous and toxic, but also don't go too far into your feminine energy because that makes you a wuss. And women don't like that. I watched a video the other day of a woman, I'm going to say girl actually, of a girl making comments about if she was supposed to be the man in the relationship, because a man had said that he had liked her but hadn't asked her out on a date, and she wanted to go on a date with him, and she was making fun of him because he was being a girl about it, that she wanted him to be more direct, to take action. Sweetheart, that's masculine energy. We've taught these boys that masculine energy is dangerous. So they had adapted to that. These 25 to 32-year-old range of men have tried to adapt to that to appear less forceful, to be less in their masculine energy in order to be safe, in order to make you feel safe. Okay? So that's the message we sent to them. So they responded to that, and now we still make fun of them for it. And now we say things like that, where we want them to be in their masculine energy, even though we've told them it's toxic. And so they're in their feminine energy, and they're taking more time, and they're trying to be more emotional, more intuitive about the way that they're approaching you. So they're in their feminine energy, and you don't like it. You want them to be more in their masculine energy. In fact, you make fun of them. So what do we want? We want men to fix it. What are they fixing? Which side do you want them on? Show them. Show them what balance looks like. Show them what balance looks like by tapping into your masculine energy as a woman, as someone in their feminine energy, and take action. Because the reason that you are not, there is a reason why you are not following up and asking that man out on a date. And what is it? Have you asked yourself that? Is it because it affects the way that you feel like a woman and you're worried about other women judging you? Because men aren't going to really judge you. There's not really many men who will judge you for asking them out first. That's what women do. Because women will use that on one of their competitive ladders that they've created about how you are not feminine enough to have that particular type of man. Who asks a man out on a date? That attitude. The confusion that the feminine energy puts out in this place of needing men to fix things makes it really hard for them to fix it. If you think about a man in their masculine energy, specifically the ones that are really quite good with their hands, and you ask them to fix something, there's a hole in the wall. Can you fix it? I need this. This is a furniture thing. Can you fix it? Can you fix this? Can you fix that? They love that shit. They love that. And that's a masculine energy thing, taking action, problem solving, initiating things. They like to fix. The reason why this can't be fixed is because of the confusion that is being projected in this area. And it is because women without their masculine energy find it really difficult to take responsibility for their place here. And we want more feminine energy to be accessed in this world right now. The energy of the universe is asking for that. So how do we do it? Divine feminines do it. by understanding divine masculine energy and tapping into it and balancing within ourselves our divine feminine and our divine masculine energies and presenting that, projecting that, taking action while also understanding our emotions, being initiating of things while also trusting our intuition. This is for women to do because men can't do it. We have pushed them so far into their masculine energy for centuries and centuries that they are genetically and ancestrally programmed to try and be in their masculine energy. To balance that with a feminine energy that they do not understand because we do not allow them the tools to understand it without being criticized by the ladders that women have created to compete with each other for the usually the reason of attracting a specific type of man that sits at the top of the ladder. Men can't do it. Women need to choose to take responsibility here. Now, we don't need to take responsibility for the whole patriarchy, for the whole of capitalism, for all the bullshit that's ever happened to us, for all your traumas. I'm not saying that. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. And really don't come at me about your traumas caused by men and how that's ruined you, okay? Because I've got the same fucking answer for you. Inside of your trauma is gold. Go find it. Stop attaching your traumas, stop attaching your patriarchal hate, your hate for men. Stop attaching that to your personality. Stop attaching that to who you are as a person. Take away all of your labels, take away all of these things that you think of who you are, and have a look at yourself right now in this world and choose. Choose to act in the outcome that you expect. And choose to realize that you have a place here as well. If you don't have your feminine and masculine energy balanced, you are no different to a man who doesn't have his feminine and masculine energy balanced. You are the same. You are part of the problem. If you have ever made a comment about a man being too in his feminine energy, if you've ever made a comment about him being too emotional, about him not being decisive enough, about him not taking action, about him being emotionally manipulative, all of these things that are feminine energy presenting toxically, if you've ever made a negative comment about a man doing these things and you haven't looked at yourself, you are part of the problem. The answer to this equality is that someone has to step up, and I'm telling you right now, it has to be the feminine first. It has to be. We are the ones projecting confusion about what we want when we say things that we want the man to fix. Now, I am someone who is quite comfortable in my masculine energy, far more comfortable than I have ever been in my feminine energy. I have only just activated that in probably the last 12 months of my life, where I feel balanced across both of my energies. Still, sometimes I find it very difficult to be in my feminine energy. But I have always found women who aren't in touch with or are too frightened to be in touch with their masculine energy, I always find them very difficult to be around. I always have, for as long as I can remember. I'm always one of those women who does struggle to be and have a lot of women friendship groups, people in their feminine energy, specifically because I do find that a lot of them have no attachment at all to their masculine energy. And that makes it very difficult for someone as direct as me, for someone who is quite happy to be heard in this place. And the answer is that women need to step up first. We can't expect men to balance out an energy we haven't allowed them to experience, and we need to show them what it looks like to have these energies balanced. And when we do that, they will come with us. They will come with us on that journey. They will balance out their energies. And one of the first things that needs to be addressed for you to be able to do that as a woman in their feminine energy is to address all of the ways that you create judgment and competition ladders with women. Really look at it. Get out a fucking pen and write that list. That is where you start. What competition ladders have you built for other women? In what ways do you judge other women? These are the answers to your problem. Okay? These are shadows within you that belong to no one but you. And why do you do them? And I'm talking about all of the things that you might just think are normal. Why do you need a man who is taller than you? Why did you look at that girl and think she's not pretty enough to be with him? Why did you look at that man and think, oh, he's being a bit emotional in a negative way? Why do you need people to look and act a specific way around you in order to feel comfortable in your skin, in order to feel worthy of existing? Why do you need people to look and act a certain way in order for you to place judgment on yourself about where you are in the competition ladder? Your projections into the collective, onto other people, are an external view of things that you need to look at yourself. And this is why I think women need to step up first, because the judgment spirals, the judgment places, the judgment ideals and values and competitive ladders that we build inside of our own communities forever, like from the time you're like 10 years old, definitely during high school, definitely in your 20s, we have to break those down. We have to choose not to use them. And until you can access this level of honesty within yourself about how your feminine energy presents toxically because of your lack of connection to your masculine energy, you've got no say in how men fix this. Fix this. Okay? You've got no say in men that can't be in touch with their emotions. Until the women can understand their feminine energy, can present, does act, and is capable of being just as toxic as an unbalanced masculine energy, there is no place for you to be trying to fix things or make comments about who men are, what they do, and whether or not they're doing it toxically or not. Men need to see what the balance looks like. We need to show them. That's just it. There shouldn't be any more reasons. I shouldn't need to go into it anymore. That's just it. But just in case you need me to, the feminine energy is Mother Earth. The feminine energy is the first mother. The feminine energy is life. The feminine energy is the creator. It is the portal of souls from one plane to another. So the feminine energy needs to be the first in this place to make the move. The feminine energy needs to access its masculine energy and take action with directness, with initiative. And there's this joke, walk into the office with the ego of a mediocre white man, but it's kind of applicable, okay? You need to access your masculine energy. You need to present an example of what it looks like balanced. You need to stop projecting your insecurities onto everyone else. You need to figure that out yourself. You need to become emotionally responsible, and you need to understand how your triggers and reactions of emotion that you have programmed over your whole entire life through your experience, through your traumas, through your interactions with other people, through your unevolved placements in your birth chart. You need to take responsibility for how that affects other people. The age of Aquarius demands it, and it will not let you through that portal safely until you figure that out. Women need to step up here. It is our place to start this change. We cannot expect a man to do something we don't even know what we want him to do. That is not how this works. So if you've made it this far, thank you for sitting in for my rant. I believe it is my piece of the divine puzzle to respond to the world around me with my intuitive thought, educated opinions, and messages from the divine. It is my intention to build awareness in the need for collective transformation with the understanding that my voice has the power to cause tower moments and trigger intense reactions. So if my words resonated with you, then I welcome you to my collective of people. And if my words triggered you to rage, or triggered you to leave a comment, or triggered you to really disagree with me in a very uncomfortable way, then I ask that you see that trigger as the beginning of your journey. And you're welcome. I do offer emotional and spiritual health advice in all things birth chart reading, shadow work, and energy alignment. And if you want to hit me up for some of that, I would be happy to help. Jump in my link tree. Stay weird.